My name is Frances Lane. I've lived here most of my life and I am 68 years old. My family actually moved here in the late 40s and I came along in 1955. My parents were entrepreneurs. They did all different kind of little businesses and they were lucky to have an opportunity to buy two adjacent properties up on the west side. So I grew up in that kind of environment concerning housing, and we help people who come from down south needed a step up before they could find their permanent place up here. So I grew up in that particular type of situation. So then I moved, so we were here. Then I was able to buy my own home. I raised my two children here up in the Turner River Road area. And because of my disability, I had to sell my house after 19 years. I've lived in market rate housing, and I've also lived now in affordable housing, so I've seen pretty much the whole gamut concerning housing. I kind of was aware of what the charter was, but I never knew anybody that served on a charter revision and realized it was going to be 60 people interviewing for 15 spots. I was wondering, what is the chance of me getting on this charter revision, because it only happens every 10 years. But I said I interviewed, I sent my resume in, I did all of that, and I feel fortunate that I was actually chosen to be on this 19 charter revision. I have been following the 30th Board of Representatives and then now into the 31st Board of Representatives. So I've been tracking what's been going on at the Board of Reps. I attend a lot of the meetings, that's including all the Board of Rep meetings, housing, land use, any meeting that there's no conflict on the scheduling. So I've been following this pretty closely. So by the time I was able to get on the charter revision, I knew there was, the big areas was definitely land use issues that we had here because things had gotten swayed too much to one side. And I felt that maybe I could, weigh in policies and be able to help balance that a little bit so that everybody is able to enjoy Stamford and not just a certain few or small groups. And so between the land use, also another issue was the housing, which of course I had been involved with some way in my life from the time I came on this earth. And then for me, because I am legally blind, the ADA and having that actually be a little bit more focused on in this city, which it has not been for quite a few years, even since the ADA law of 1990. So that was the one thing I also wanted to focus on too, and to have more accountability, more opening, and try to get more people in the city of Stamford to actually be involved and understand these different things that are going on the Board of Reps, on the zoning board, on the planning board, and these different boards, that this affects their everyday lives and they need to be aware of what's really going on here in Stamford. We do have what they call like a strong mayor type of government. From what I have been watching on all these meetings, that when there's any things coming down from the mayor's office and from Corporation Council, it was basically what they said that was the law. It was an opinion, it was a law, and some of the things seemed very slanted to me. And then also serving on the trust fund board, I could definitely see how things are slanted very much to the developers, to the point that the average everyday person is just getting shut out. And I also saw too that it seemed that the Board of Reps was just there to basically rubber stamp whatever the administration wanted. And I believe that there should be a balance between the Board of Reps and the administration. There should be a checks and balances, a true checks and balances, which is why I was definitely a very strong proponent for the Board of Reps having their own council. So I definitely pushed for that for the subcommittee I was working on, and I voted and definitely spoke towards that all through the subcommittee meetings as well as the full board meetings of the charter revision. The reason why we need to have an update on the appointments commission and the whole idea of how the boards and commissions are chosen, because right now the system is broken. I know a lot of the opponents out here are saying that we're trying to take power away from the mayor, but that is so far from the truth. What we're trying to do is continue to let the mayor have their ability to actually appoint somebody within these different boards and commissions, but after 120 days, the president of the Board of Reps comes in, and now he's joining with her to try to fill these positions. And then if we get past that 120 days, then we have the Board of Representatives, come in and also start naming, because we have a lot of positions that need to be filled. And I know the mayor thought that she was doing a good job, only to find out that we have probably over 50% of these positions that need to be filled. So I think that the mayor needs all the help that they can get, because at the end of the day, it's about the residents and the fact that they need to have the representation and full people on board if we can get that. We did have a subcommittee, which is the Finance Committee, and even though I was not directly on that committee, I attended most of those meetings, and I know that that's being said out here about the taxes going up. But people need to realize the reason why we're looking for a balance here, especially in housing and even some other areas. Right now, the developers are having a free fall. They are able to build to the way they want it with the help of the land use and the zoning board, and then they don't pay all their taxes. Taxes actually are going up because of, again, the favoritism towards the developers, and it's not transparent because they do go in front of the zoning board to get their projects approved. But what happens a lot of times is there are a lot of stuff behind the scenes going on where they're coming back with answers or working with the land use department, and that never sees the light of day.